Josh, can you hear us? All right, we
Okay,
can't hear
we can't
you,
hear
but
you.
yep. But if you can hear us, we can. We're headed in the right direction. Okay. Let's go ahead and get started. So by way of introduction, my name is Jackie Benachet. I'm the Director of Operations at ALEE. I have with me our CEO and founder, Marjorie McEwen. We are really excited to be diving in over the next half hour for our first lunch and learn. I see the cookies have made it. So thank you for your time and please dive in for that little sugar treat before we send you guys home. So, one thing we wanted to cover today, it's a short amount of time. However, we work with a lot of schools that use Amplify, and we've tried to think of something that is really bite-sized that you could apply as soon as next week. So, we one of the ALEE's features is called our instructional engagements. And inside every single novel on the ALEE app lives annotations that our team puts into the app. Now, the instructional engagements were originally created for people who use ALEE for their core curriculum because what we found is so many people have different curriculums like Amplify. We found a lot of teachers actually end up using the instructional engagements for other things like exit tickets, conferencing prompts, and even homeworks. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go into the novels and we're going to pull out the instructional engagements to create homeworks. Um, so I thought that we'd start with Outsiders. I know that's a novel your team teaches. I also just thought it's a book everybody knows pretty well. Either they've read it or they've taught it. And S.E. Hinton is marvelous at many different things and tying many different things into her writing. So let me hop into the instructional engagements. One thing I'm going to note is that on the ALEE app, we have this planning space. We find a lot of people also use Google Docs. So what I'm going to use today is Google Docs. So I'll turn this side um, off so it'll look like that. All right. So when I'm starting to teach, I'm thinking about what is the highest lift that I can have my students continue literary analysis outside the classroom. So S.E. Hinton, again, like does a marvelous job at many different things. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start with chapter 2 because chapter 2 really provides some fruitful ground for one, like some foreshadowing. She also weaves in a really nice job with symbolism. It's the first time that we see the blue Mustang, and we'll see this woven in throughout the rest of the text. But the one thing I really want to focus in on is the standard RL point 4. So I really want to be looking for mood and tone. So now as I'm going through the instructional engagements, you'll note that each engagement is tied to a different standard that you can see here, or a literary element or reading strategy. So because I'm looking for RL point 4, that's what I want to focus in on. So as I'm looking through, I find this first instructional engagement is on diction, and I'll go ahead and open up that engagement. Now, our engagements are broken down into three scaffolds. What I'm going to be focusing on today for our homework is the discuss prompts. So I'm going to copy these over. Again, I'm going to use a Google Doc for today. And I notice here a few different things. The first thing, I love this prompt here because um, Hinton uses this word tough as slang. And I think this could be really slippery because I want my students to really understand this in context. So I want to keep this as a question that I use for homework. I also really love this idea of social boundaries and the idea that Ponyboy being our narrator, even though he's admiring someone in this moment, we can still see these ideas of social boundaries. So these are two questions that I'm going to use for our homework. Now I'm going to continue to go back. And remember, I'm looking for RL point 4. So I'm perusing through. And I see right here another one with tone. Now, tone analysis, as you guys know, it can be very tricky to teach. And so for students to do this at home, what I'm going to want to do is give them a little bit more support. We haven't gotten to spend much time on this year, so I'm going to open up this engagement. Now, I want to note that this is for eighth grade, and what I can do here is I can actually toggle this down to fifth grade standard. So I'm providing a little bit more scaffolding for students. I'm just going to toggle this down. Seventh grade, sixth grade, fifth grade. And I can pull these again so that students have some level of support as they're doing this at home. I'll move this over to my Google Doc. Now, the one thing I love about these discussion prompts is that that is not just words, right? Like we can also be focusing on tone through punctuation. We can focus on tone through hyperbole and exaggeration. And so I'm going to actually keep these two discussion prompts and get rid of these two, because I think this will give my students a really good chance to practice these skills. And then I'll go in and I think we'll probably find one more. So again, I'm looking for our 0.4. That's my focus. And let me pull this one up. All right, so this scene, this is when Two-Bit scares Johnny and Ponyboy. This part is really interesting because there's a tonal shift here. So I think this would be really a good for continued literary analysis for students to do at home. So I'll go ahead and copy this. I'll paste it below. Now this part's really showing me that the tone here can move, right? It's not static. And so what I find interesting here is that even though Ponyboy is our narrator, we're inside of his head, we can see and feel a shift as a reader. So I think this would be a really good homework opportunity for students to practice. And I think this would be a good amount of questions for us to practice for homework. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and clean this up, student version. I might format it, questions, label it, and my homework might look something like this. So this is ready to go. It's ready to be printed out. So now that's one way to create homework. Another thing we see too, and I'll show you real quick, is with curriculums that schools already have, sometimes there might be things that you want to focus in on that might get glossed over. So for example, if there's certain themes, character arcs, certain symbols, are points in the plot that you really want to dive into with your class that might not already be in the curriculum, this is an opportunity for you to practice those things. So what we'll do is we'll dive into chapter 3. So we know that Derry and Ponyboy have a break in their relationship, and this chapter really deepens that. So I'm going to want to focus in on that for an additional homework that I might provide next week. So again, I'll be looking for, let's see. Now, I love this part because during this conversation, Cherry and Ponyboy are having a very raw emotional conversation about Derry. And this kind of gives us some insight into his internal world. And so I'm going to take these discussion questions. Again, I'm going to move them below so I can create a homework for my students. Now, I really only want to be focusing on Ponyboy as an unreliable narrator. We know from his point of view how he feels about Derry and Derry's actions. So I don't really need any questions about Soda Pop. So I'm going to keep these two. And then I want to find one more about him and Derry's relationship. I'm thinking back to this chapter when Derry hits Ponyboy, that might be a really good opportunity to pull some more literary analysis at home. So I'll go ahead and open this up. And this is focusing on theme, which is great. Theme and first person narration. So I'll move these over. And again, because we're focusing on Ponyboy being an unreliable narrator, I just really want to focus in on narration. So I'll take these two prompts out and I'll keep the question about first person narration. Again, I'll go ahead and format. I'll title this, and the homework could look like this. Now what I have is I've used the instructional engagements from ALEE to create two homeworks for next week. that again continue that literary analysis even outside the classroom. So, um, that is my spiel that I am done now. Now I'm sending you guys off. What I would love for you guys to do is I know right now you're teaching Drums, Girls, and Dangerous Pie, which I love. Freak the Mighty and eighth grade you are teaching narrative coming up in a few weeks. What I would love for you guys to do is go into ALEE, and if you've already created homework for next week, maybe use ALEE to go back and see if there's a few questions that you could change up. Or if you have yet to create your homework, go ahead and try using those novels and the instructional engagements to create a few pieces of homework. What I'd love to do is come back around 3:25 just to kind of wrap up the session. And we'll be here, Marjorie and I will be here if you have any questions. If you need the login again, I'll put it right up here, but it's app.myalley.com. And yeah, we'll be here if you have any questions and feel free to dive in. All right. If you could wrap up what you are doing, head on back. So a lot of excitement in terms of the engagements. Saw some people checking out a few other features too, like our summaries and graphic organizers. But yes, um, hopefully this is not our last lunch and learn. What I would like to do is set up a few more throughout the year, and what I'll do is I'll send you all an email after this. Because like I said, some of you were checking out some of the other features. I'm going to resend some of our onboarding videos. Um, again, we're big fans of Amplify, but if there's anything, if you're looking for additional support in terms of differentiation or literary analysis, definitely check out those features on ALEE. So you'll get those onboarding videos, check out those additional features, and then definitely get into the instructional engagements to create those homeworks. Again, some people make them for homework, some people use them for exit tickets, and even conferencing prompts. So try it out. And then additionally, if you have any ideas for, because this is your time, if you have any ideas for lunch and learns in the future, that's something that you'd like support that ALEE could help supplement with um, Amplify, please do let us know. We want to make sure that your time is spent doing something that can strengthen something for your lesson planning. So thank you guys for your time on this Friday. Enjoy the cookies. Make sure if you're having any issues logging into ALEE, just flag for me via email. I know some of you already did that. Thank you. And have a great weekend. We will talk soon. Bye, everybody.